Hey, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Glad you're here. Today, we're talking about the ascending aorta, the dilated ascending aorta. What the heck does that mean? Well, your guess is as good as mine. Actually, I do know because I did look it up. First, before we continue on with this, we got to go back in time just a little bit to the echo. I promised in the last video, echocardiogram coming up here in December. I will follow up, let you know how things are looking in this range. Yep, that I would show you or provide you an update of what takes place with my echo. So back in December, I did have my heart echo, just do the checkup to see what was going on. And during that process, once I got done, this is the wording that I get, or something along the lines. And that was, hey, everything mostly looks good. I'm like, wait a minute. Mostly looks good? It's not cool. Something ain't right there. What's going on? What does that mean? So of course, now I'm waiting for the test results, which came in the next day. And here, you can take a look at this here. I'll show you a little clip. But basically what I saw was, hey, you have a dilated ascending aorta, and it was 4.7 centimeters round. And I'm like, dude, that doesn't sound good. 4 centimeters round. That's pretty good size. So naturally, what do? Become an internet doctor, and then I go from there to find out what is wrong with me. What is wrong this time? And ultimately, even the next day, let's not even go to ultimately, the next day was when my cardiologist gave me a call. And from there, he's like, hey, we need to do a CT scan on you because of this dilated ascending aorta. And just to find out exactly how dilated it is. Because, as I said, when I became an internet doctor, I started looking around, see what that meant. And that basically what I found from doing the research was that once you get to 5.0 centimeters round is not good. It could have some serious problems, some serious complications, could be death. I mean, so I thought the bicuspid aortic valve and having open heart surgery was bad enough. But if your aorta blows up, that's probably even worse. Yeah, that's worse. So that's where the CT scan comes in. Because when you're doing an echo, if you've never had an echo, if you're going to go through this process in the future, it's where they take the machine, they kind of rub it around, they put the little stuff on it, they run it around on you, and they're looking. It's kind of like a little sonar, and they're checking out the inside. They can see everything pumping and doing all that stuff, which is actually pretty cool to be able to look at. But when they're doing their measurements, it's not as precise as doing a CT scan with contrast. And that's what I had to do. I mean, it was scheduled up. We said, hey, we need to do this kind of as soon as possible. So we scheduled it for the 2nd of January because I wanted to know what the heck was going on. And so it did come back lower, which kind of expected. Now, the twist to all this is that during the echoes, looking at previous echoes, it had dilated from like 4.2 to 4.7. So back in 2021, before I had my surgery, it was showing that it was 4.2. And since that surgery in August of 21, till I had this echo in December of last year, it had a 0.5 increase, which was kind of crazy. Now you go to the CT scan, it came back actually at 4.2. So it is mildly dilated. And so that's a good thing. It means, hey, we're going to watch it, and there'll be more to come in the future because I will have a follow-up with my doctor coming up. But where I was going with this, in the past, when I looked at it from 2019, they had done a CT scan when we were looking at the heart stuff back in the day. It was at 3.7. So I'm like, hey, wait a minute, it has gone up 0.5 regardless of whether you look at it from the echo or whether you look at it from the previous CT scans. It has gone up 0.5. Now, the other thing that I noticed during becoming an internet doctor, it was that my pressure gradient had increased as well. So it's kind of interesting as to why that happened or what's going on there, because I've never had high blood pressure, so I've got some questions that I'm going to follow up, and that's where I was going to say, stay tuned, have a heart, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you'd like to, because yes, there's going to be more to come. Once I meet with my doctor in February, I'll meet with the cardiologist, have a few more questions there that I can help answer for you all, And that may be like, hey, if this happens to you, because, I mean, yes, it was dilated because of the heart condition previously, just wasn't expecting it to dilate that much more. And the easiest way to explain, or I think a good analogy, is that like a balloon maker. An animal, you're blowing up one of those balloons. Basically, when the heart, once that thing starts to expand, it gets easier to expand. It's hard to blow at first, which, you got a lot of blood, you got a lot of stuff that's pumping through there. Hard to do, but once it starts to expand and the walls get thinner, now that thing can actually move along. And I think that's why it's moving faster or expanding faster than what it has in the past. So, long-winded. That's a lot for right now, but I wanted to share with you all what was going on. What happened with the echo, and now what happened then with the CT, and now even what's going to happen afterwards. So we'll have a little update come February. I'll have another one for you, so stay tuned for the next episode of After the Surgery. Let's hope it doesn't go into another surgery. But either way, I'll keep you informed. And thanks for watching. Appreciate you stopping by, and we'll catch you in the next one. All right, take care.